Siri, should Goldman Sachs go to jail?
I found 2 correctional institutions a little ways from you.
We need to tell everybody on Wall Street exactly what the grievance is, and that's that they stole the money. The bottom line is they took the money. They took the money. They counterfeited stock and they took the money. So our motto is pay it back or go to jail. That's what everybody should be chanting. Pay back the money you stole or go to jail. If I had taken money from anybody, they'd put me in jail. If I stole your car, they'd put me in jail. But what they did was even worse. They did what was called a strategic fail to deliver in the marketplace. In other words, they sold things to the unsuspecting public and they never delivered the product. And the public wasn't aware of that. You know, here's the part that really bothers me more than anything. Without anybody going to jail, it just tells the rest of the crooks that they can continue to do it. Now, there are some patriots out there, and there's some people out there really reporting the right stuff, like Matt Taibbi on Rolling Stone. I mean, this guy, he really knows how to tell it like it is. See, it goes all the way up the ladder, like in this one where he says, is the SEC covering up the crimes? Because you know what? They were putting all of that paperwork in the shredder so that there was no evidence to it. And he knew about it, and he told everybody. And then, how about how Congress faked the finance reform? Let's talk about Regulation Show for a couple of minutes and how it really doesn't have any teeth. And it doesn't stop those guys from selling things that they don't own. It doesn't stop them from failing to deliver the items they sold to the public, right? Congress, okay? Congress, the SEC, these are the people that we put in office to protect us. Matt's talking about it. You should read this. I know there's a lot of folks out there don't think Rolling Stone has good politics in it, but you're wrong. Matt Taibbi is a great, great writer. How Wall Street crooks evaded jail. Nobody went. Bernie Madoff, the only one that I know of that went to jail, and some Russian spies, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes too, but Bernie Madoff, the only guy who went to, oh, and let's not forget Martha Stewart. Of course, we got to take Martha Stewart and put her in jail because she did some insider trading. Please, let's take a look at these guys and what they did. The Real Housewives of Wall Street. This was a great article. See, these are things that I think all the American public should really take time to read and learn.
Like Cameron, can you
It's hot in here, Richard.
can you talk to the people about the trial, how it was moved back from December 5th to March 5th, the Overstock versus Goldman Sachs trial?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Patrick Byrne, he's the CEO of Overstock.com. And Overstock had decreased in value on the marketplace, but yet they were having profitable years. So Patrick Byrne, being the Rhodes Scholar that he is, the CEO of the company, he started digging through some things, and sure enough, he figured out that the company, in fact, in his belief, was being naked shorted. At the time, he didn't even think that was possible. But as he dug through all of the information, he realized, hey, this is really going on. Of course, so Patrick, wanting to save his company, he filed a lawsuit against Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch. It was supposed to happen December 5th of this year, but they pushed him back. Who knows? Maybe it had something to do with Occupy Wall Street. It'll now happen in San Francisco on March 5th, 2012. And the whole world watching. We want everybody to focus on that trial. It'll be the O.J. Simpson trial in the financial network. It'll be big. Patrick himself said he's not settling. Okay, he said it would be treason if he settled. He said these bankers, they always settle, they pay money, and they never admit guilt. He's going to force them to admit guilt. And he claims to have the mother lode of evidence. So I'm very excited.
Get the money out and we have a bought Congress and Senate. So we got to make sure we get this message out to the people, to the whole world watching, so that Goldman Sachs and all their money cannot buy off a judge.
And if we all watch that day, if we let the whole world know, and the courts know, and the governments know that the whole world's watching, then we're gonna put the pressure on them to give them the right verdict. Right, wrong, or indifferent. So March 5th, 2012, San Francisco, the whole world watching.
So if we have the spotlight on this trial come March 5th, 2012, and Occupy San Francisco live streams the information to the rest of the world, we could potentially show the spotlight of this trial so they cannot buy off a judge or dismiss the case.
All right, so we just watched that clip on Sergei Alennikoff and Goldman Sachs and the millions that they're going to lose because of this trading information that they gave out. But this all started quite a while ago, as a matter of fact, and a bunch of Russian spies got arrested and stuff. And Anna Chapman, I think, Richard, you can add to this, right, on how Anna Chapman kind of played into this whole thing with the Russian spies and what have you?
Well, I made that video, Wall Street Fails to Deliver, in August 2011, follow-up story to what's been taking place the past year. And on October 31st, 2011, it just came out news about Anna Chapman. And what I find interesting, Cameron, is what you talk about, the news media revolution, and how we don't really get the facts or the truth told. The bottom line is these Russian spies were working on Wall Street with hedge funds, counterfeiting the stock market. There was one article out of Reuters that said that the Anna Chapman documents are so sensitive that they won't be able to declassify this information until 2032. That's 20 years from now. And it says no sooner than 2032. So yet the news media is telling the world that they really weren't doing nothing. They were sipping coffee at Starbucks on their laptop.
What you're saying is that they locked this information up for the next 20 years? We can't get the information for 20 years? Isn't it kind of like what they did with the Kennedy assassination? They put it away for like 65 years or something? Like my grandkids are finally going to get to know the real truth on what happened that day? That's ridiculous. Didn't President Barack Obama talk about transparency when he was getting in office? I thought everything was going to be on CNN and C-SPAN and everything. I haven't seen anything like that. It's amazing how the story changes, you know? Getting back to Dylan Ratigan, got to take the money out of Washington.
Add to what you're just saying as far as getting the information out, and President Obama, he signed an emergency executive order July 25th, 2011, all about the financial system and all these criminal organizations that have infiltrated into the financial system. Yet I haven't seen one time on TV that they've discussed this presidential emergency executive order that kind of explains all this stuff, and it ties into all these Russian spies and hedge funds that were taking the money off people buying stocks that they thought were real, yet it was all counterfeited, naked shorted. They kept the money, never delivered the stock. So it fails to deliver. Please go watch the movie Wall Street Fails to Deliver. And also, Cameron's going to update you on an upcoming movie that's coming out November 2011 called Wall Street Conspiracy, that's going to show the evidence to the American people and the world how Goldman Sachs sold fake counterfeit stock into the pension funds throughout the world and basically robbed 10 to 50% of the American people's money through their pension funds.
Most of you out there that are listening to this, you're thinking to yourselves, well, you know, I don't have any stock in the stock market, it doesn't affect me. That's so wrong. Because when you find out exactly what these guys did, how they took these shorts offshore and kind of flipped them to longs again and then laced them through everybody's 401s and IRAs and what have you. So when they took down the value of the company, they sucked all the money out of everybody's retirement funds. And when everybody finds out the real truth behind all of that, there will be real pitchforks in everybody's hands. on Occupy Wall Street. So what we did is we've created an online TV channel so that you can get educated about what naked shorting is all about. It's called The Whole World's Watching.